Hi there, Mobility Wednesday. So that's what we're going to do is get mobile. Okay. On Mobility Wednesdays, generally always, unless I'm on location and there's no way I can go barefooted, I will be barefooted. Your foot mobility is crucially important to your ambulation and to your balance. So when you start warming up today with me, we're going to just do walk. We're going to do all range walking. So it's going to be front to back, and I'm barefooted. Now, if you're not barefooted, you're not going to get the nuances of your foot mobility in the walking process because you're not going to feel your feet as much. So what I'm doing right now is doing a line up in a walk, okay? When people start losing their balance and they start to compensate without really an awareness of what they're doing, I'm going to show you the kind of walk you're going to see, okay? I can spot a back or hip issue anywhere. But when you start losing your balance, for whatever reason, I don't care if it's a weight influx or if it's underweight, mostly overweight, if you displace your mass, it's going to affect you. Do you see this? This is what people do. They widen. This is one of the compensations that people do when they start losing balance. They're walking and they'll walk wide, or they will walk and they will make their feet go out like a duck. Why is that? Because they're trying to widen their base of support. Because if I get very narrow with somebody who's losing balance, they will be grabbing things constantly because they are losing their balance. So I would say, number one, for sure, find out why your balance maybe is taking a hit. So go back to normal walking. And what am I doing? Am I walking? Am I ambulating like I would normally ambulate? No. I'm doing a normal step pattern. It's not wide. It's not too narrow. But I'm paying real close attention and hesitating when I put my heel down and I go to bring the ball of the foot in line. Okay? So I'm doing what's called a hesitation walk. Now, I'm going to grab my little pole here, as I hope some of you will. Or you can do this very well in your kitchen along your counter, wherever a counter is that you can get 3, 4, 5 steps, and you can run your hand on the counter, okay? So a lot of you have that kind of a setup that you can do. You even do your class with the camera on the counter. So look what I'm doing. So even though it may appear that, I'm not doing too much, let's just skip this part. Oh my goodness. My heel toe roll to the front in a hesitating walk, pulling my rib cage up, not letting myself round my back, softening my knee, not locking it. There's a lot of people that have a kind of a syndrome called lock knee ambulation. They will put their foot in and they'll lock their leg, and then they wonder why their knee or hip is bothering them later on. Anyway, my foot is doing all kinds of stuff, okay? Now I'm going to do our pattern walk, which is cross, and now I'm going to start bringing in the upper body, okay? So let's say, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are dealing with cancer diagnosis, you're getting treatment, you are dealing with a knee, a wonky knee. See how I'm just stepping over and then back, and then stepping over the other way and back, because I'm trying to get you to open through here and then lift up the rib cage and push my hips forward in this kind of a really, really cool way to get warmed up, to get into those joints and ligaments, and counteract some of the tightening that happens with, for lack of a better word right now, a wonky knee, a wonky hip, a back that's a little bit on edge. Your best bet is to get yourself lined up, okay? Now, it's hard for me to get lined up barefooted because, in fact, one of my hips is dropped because I have a leg length discrepancy. Okay, so now after doing the cross, turn, opening at the hip, cross, turn, push the hips back. So you put that heel down and back, drop your shoulders, and put your hands right back here and push, okay? And then come back into line. So that's ear, shoulder, hip. See that? After you've done that, and we've done a wide walk, then we've come back, then we did a kind of a pattern walk to open up the back. Now we're going to do a tandem walk. And I'm doing this with just my body weight. And I wanted to do the hesitation walk just a couple minutes ago to get you into the mindset. And actually, that's exactly what you're doing, is you're not trying to connect your commands with the actual body movement of a tandem walk. And I will tell you that if you go into this quick and you're not thinking about walking on that tightrope, you're going to have a misstep. You're going to catch yourself because you're going to be off balance. Because by virtue of narrowing your walk like this, and do a very careful ambulation where your heel is actually touching your toe, and then your toe is touching your heel. Now I'm going to go back, take a breath through the nose, try to blow through the nose, out if possible. See how I'm softening my knee? You might not have seen it. See how I'm trying to stay on the tightrope? Yeah, it should be a little bit of a challenge, okay? So I want the toe to hit the heel. I don't want it to be on the outside. And if you kind of lose your balance a little bit, that's okay. Step out, get back on. That's perfectly fine. But this is why you need your pole. Because I want you to train your body to, in fact, do these hesitation, kind of an ambulation and a tandem stepping, okay? And you would be well served to practice this balance walk or a tandem walk, okay? I would say that should definitely be one of your 1 or 2 minute little movement breaks that you have through the day, because you're training your brain how to stay on balance. And that is such a crucial thing moving forward into the age ranges that maybe any of us find ourselves, okay? So one of your best things to do, I am not kidding you, is to have a pole, a walking stick. So many of you have seen these walking sticks, but it could be a pole. This is just the end of a mop handle, okay, that I put some tape on the raw end. Or you can have a walking stick. I'm telling you, there's some of you out there that absolutely need to be using a walking stick to help your ambulation process, okay? When you do use that device, that assistive device, that's what it's called. People don't like to say cane, but that's what it is, okay? There's a reason they've been around for centuries. They work, all right? Here's how they don't work. They don't work if you completely depend on them, because what is your goal? If possible, your goal is to, of course, not use it. So I trade from side to side when I'm doing this kind of an ambulation, kind of a skill, okay, and it is part skill. You have to practice it, but don't be always on one side. That's number one. Number two, don't lock your knees. Keep your knees soft. Keep your rib cage up, and don't over lean, because this is what we're trying to avoid, isn't it? We're trying to avoid this. Then you can't practice in that position. I hope this is making a lot of sense to you. So I'm just calling us all on our habitual bad behaviors as far as posture is concerned. Okay, see how I'm practicing this over and over repeatedly? Don't go fast, because I would invite you to just take one hand, whichever hand you're going to go down with if you need it, and just catch it like this, or just raise it above the ground. Now, right now, when you took that step, say rib cage up. Big breath through the nose. Your heel needs to touch the tip of your toe. Now, soften your knees. Soften your knees. So, pretend that you are on a beam, okay? You could even put a thick masking tape on your floor if you really took this seriously. Make a straight line with a masking tape. I'd use a thick, wide one. And practice this to where you really know how to make those body adjustments, which is ribcage up and softening your knees. Then you go toe to heel, and see, I'm hovering. Some people say hoovering. Hoover, hover, hover. Okay? But when you put the foot back, see, that's when most of you lock your knee. Don't do that. Put your foot back there and keep it soft so that you absorb down. You lower your center of gravity if and when you start to feel out of balance. Okay? So we are delving into the nuances of the tandem walk. Okay? And why do you want to practice it? Some of you are saying, well, how's that going to help me? I'm just out of balance all the time. And I'm like, yes, because number one, yes, make sure that you reel out some other things that would cause a loss of balance. But understand your hearing, the hearing loss, your glasses, your prescription of your glasses when you get a new glass prescription, your blood pressure meds, medicine taken, many kinds of medications. These all have implications to our balance. Yes, the aging process. It's those little inner ear cilia that have to be on target. And some of them start getting damaged, okay? So really ascertain, see how I did that little misstep? Yeah, I'm staying with this. And if you're out there doing this with me and you've several minutes ago said, oh, that's enough of this, well, think it again. Think about it again. When you put that foot back there, keep the knee soft so that you can lower your center of gravity very easily and stay on balance. Keep moving that assistive device, whatever it is, a pole, a cane, maybe you have your hand running onto a counter. Don't grab the counter. have your hand right above the counter. Okay, see how I just kind of went over a little too much? Had I not had this device, well, it would have really taken me. Okay, so slow it back, soften the knees. Now walk out of that. And then just start paying attention. Okay, we're going to turn the toe out. Okay, I have this leg, this foot forward. This foot is turned out and stepped out. Because in fact, I'm going to bend into it. I have my little assistive device right here. I won't always use it, but here's the thing. In doing this little move right here, this little move, if I came into your room right now, I'd stand behind you and or to the side, and I might tap right here on your knee, because in fact, when we go forward, many of you are turning and letting your knee come in. Don't roll your foot right now, okay? Point the knee in the direction of the toe. You got it? And go down, and you might slip your leg out just a little more so that you get a full press in this way. And I'm gonna keep saying rib cage up, because even though I'm bending through the hip and I'm bending right into this move, I'm not rounding my back, okay? And then I come back up. Okay, now stay with me on this because you're gonna feel it in your quad right now. So we're doing a very slow, very gradual press. I want to check that my knee is going out over my toe, that my rib cage is up, even though I'm still with my ear, my shoulder, and my hip can line up, even though I'm going in a lean out. Okay, my rib cage is up. I'm going to use this if I need it, but I don't need it right now. Okay, so I'm pressing. This toe is forward, this toe is out here. Make sure you keep that knee out. And then I want to pulse right into that leg. Pulse right there. Tight tummy, drop your shoulder, take a big breath through your nose. So the knee is out, you're pushing over the toe. Tight tummy, big breath into the nose, and just press right in there. And this is where you should be feeling this, right here. You'll have a little stretch over here, not much, but this right here should not hurt your knee. But it is gonna make your muscles right here around that knee work. Okay, so it's press right in there, press right in there, keep that knee headed over the toe, take a breath, then come back, and then come back, okay? So here I am. I'm going to switch. I'm going to go to the other side. So this foot stays forward. Draw my shoulders. Take a big breath. Turn. And this is my tight hip right now. I'm very aware of it. But I want my knee to go over, not too much, but be in line with, I should say that, the toe. This knee is in line with the toe. So in essence, I'm not twisting and coming in here. Okay, so stay wide open. This toe is forward. This toe is totally pointing out. Tight tummy. When I say tight tummy, I'm meaning to brace the whole core. So that's what I'm meaning. Okay, not just pulling in my belly button. So now I'm not going to use this. I'm going to have it here if I need it. This is my very tight hip. I'm pushing my knee so that it's in line with that toe. Say rib cage up, even though I'm going to be leaning in. See, I'm right here, I'm right here, I'm right here. I can even employ my arms if I'm feeling pretty brave. Okay, see how I'm pushing, pushing, and I don't want that knee coming in. Okay, so push, the knee should be over or in line with the toe is the point. Rib cage up, constantly rib cage up, rib cage up. Push just as far as you feel you can. You can step your foot out just a little bit more. Rib cage up, rib cage up, rib cage up. Take a big breath, take a big breath, take a big breath. Pulse. So a pulse is much different than a bounce, okay? So keep that knee open, don't let it cave, and see how I'm pulsing into the lineup with the knee with the toe here. This leg is pretty straight. I have this here if I need it. Rib cage up. So even in the rib cage up, as you lean in, keep that knee open, you're pressing right here. Pressing right here is where you should feel it. You should have no pain in your knee with this, no impingement, no problem with the knee. Keep that open. Say rib cage up again. Take a big breath. Big breath. Just a couple more. Push. One more. Here we go. Push. One more. One more. Right here. Right there. And back. Now turn that toe in and come back. Take your little pole. I'm going to use this one because I think you see it better. I have a regular walking pole that I use whenever I'm out and about, walking in the fields or whatever. Anytime you're going to do field walking, trail walking, man, you need to take a walking pole with you. Okay, look at my feet. So I'm pretty wide, all right? Soften up your knees. That's number one. Now, we're not going to pivot to begin with. The turning, twisting thing that I see sometimes done, especially on golf courses. I'm like, I should go hand my cards out. So the whole reason they're doing it is to loosen up. To loosen up what, I would ask them? My back. Okay, let's do that. But let's start from the top and go down. Let's really work on the back. So you don't turn in a pivot. You stay solid here. You turn your upper body, but don't move those feet, okay? The minute I go into this, many of you are gonna wanna step out. Don't step out. If you really wanna loosen your back up, keep your knees soft, drop your shoulders, and turn gently, 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 gently. See, this is going to help to start address the tightness in your back because I'm not moving my feet. I'm dropping my shoulders and I'm turning and I'm not going to hurt my back. But the structures that tighten up the back is going to be addressed right here. See how I'm not moving my feet. My knees are soft. I'm turning as far as I can with my hands right here, resting on the back part. My shoulders are down. So don't go at this like a helicopter, okay? Move into that stretch. See? It's a dynamic motion here. And that's what I want. I want you to move into a stretch. I don't want you to swing yourself into a stretch, okay? So you're keeping your feet down. You're moving as far as you can without moving your legs much. And then you do that gently, dropping your shoulders, saying rib cage up. So you're getting a little transverse action through the hips, not a ton, okay? Take a breath, take a breath, and you do this first. So we're starting with the shoulders, and it's affecting down to your mid to lower back, okay? Then we're going to address how the hips impact the back. Are you ready for that? We've done it before. So number one, I have my hands resting on my pole. My shoulders are down, Okie dokie. Now I'm going to turn and I am going to pivot. So now I'm bringing in the hip, the tight, maybe they're tight, the hips, hip flexors and the extensors. So in this transverse move, which is one of the basic planes of motion, a lot of times we feel uncomfortable doing this because why? Because it makes us dizzy. Right. And then we avoid that motion. It's a very important motion. So I'm doing this barefooted. My knees are soft. My shoulders are down. I'm pivoting one knee and I'm really turning as far as I can. And I'm looking as far as I can behind me. Then I go back to center. Take a big breath, regroup, realign. Shoulders are down, rib cage is up, chin is tucked. Take a big breath. And when I turn, I keep turning and I try to hold my ground. And now I'm on the ball of the foot and then a solid foot. Okay, this is when we don't want to roll the foot too much. Okay, I'm gonna do this 2 more times on either side. I'm gonna turn, pivot, and I'm gonna keep turning and looking. Say rib cage up, drop your shoulders, rib cage up, drop your shoulders, rib cage up, drop your shoulders, come back. Center up, you ready? Big breaths, knees are soft, rib cage up, pivot that back leg. Now keep turning. See, don't roll your foot. Keep your foot solid. Keep turning, keep looking back as far behind you as possible. Hang out there for just a little bit and then come back, regroup. Last one, here we go. Turn, pivot, do not roll that foot, that outside foot. Here we go, drop your shoulders. Big breath, drop your shoulders. Come center. Last time, here we go. Don't roll the foot that's solid. You're gonna pivot on the outside leg. Now turn, 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 turn. Keep your chin tucked. Big deep breath, drop your shoulders. Big deep breath, drop your shoulders. Pull, 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 and come back. Now, if you've held your hands back here this whole time with me, you are feeling it. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm doing a swing through with my leg. I'm stepping forward and stepping back. And what am I doing with my toes? This is one of the absolute foundational muscles that will help your feet. It will help the muscles in your lower leg. It will center your balance systems. You have to use all your proprioceptiveness. So as I step through, I go all the way to flexing those toes. Then I press down and I step back, and I'm not done until I bring that toe up. Now I'm going to drop that pole down, keep my shoulders down, should be easing it up a bit. Some of you had to do that before I actually did it. I know this. Drop your shoulders and go to the side. Yep. Step back and go to the side. So this should tell you, by holding that bar behind your back, as long as I did, constantly adjusting by dropping my shoulders, okay? And then when I finally drop them with you, whoo, you should feel that kind of lining up and its effect on your postural stance, because we continually keep moving down and forward and we don't even think about it. So I'm telling you so much, a huge percentage, I would say well over 50% of whether or not you give in to the hunched over, bent over, walking, ambulating, just being is in our control, okay? And some of you have real challenges. Scoliosis is a big challenge, okay? Just gravity, just the pull forward and not being aware of it, not being aware of it. Get a pole and do what I just did by putting the pole at the base of your back, the tops of the hips. See, I'm not grasping, it's forcing my shoulders back, and I have to keep them pushed down. And that's what we did the whole time that we were working on some of these foot maneuvers. See that? Then you bring it out and then give yourself a little break here and do the swing through on the other side now as you're going from side to side. And here's what I would be noticing. If I came into your room right now and you were doing this, I would check your shoulders first, okay? So I put your hands on your shoulder, or think I'm putting my hands on your shoulder. Okay, drop those shoulders, tighten in the tummy, take a big breath, and when you step through, make a point right there that you pull that front leg up, because it ain't gonna happen if you just do this and do this, and you don't make a point to hesitate, soften this knee, pull that toe up like it's gonna touch the shin bone, your shin bone, okay? So this kind of a step through where you're going from the ball of the foot to the heel repeatedly, it's gentle, and then you're pulling that toe back. And you make this this little step through. Whether you use this or not, that would be great, but whether you use that or not, if you're standing here, it's a very simple thing to move, to remember. Just act like you're gonna walk, and then you're gonna go, oh, but I'm not going to. And then when you step back, pull that toe to the shin, and do it hesitatingly, more slowly, right there. So you stretch that leg, hip hinge, pull that toe back, and then come back in, and then do the other side. So now this one is gonna step through, and we pull that toe back. And when you go to pull the toe back, right here is when you're gonna stretch a little, and you're gonna pull under that foot. So it's a stretch through, step back, hip hinge, keep your chin tucked, and pull. So this does all kinds of cool stuff in your hips, your back. You just feel better in your skin. After you've done that kind of a thing, just kind of walk around a little bit. You're like, oh yeah, I feel it's much easier to ambulate here. Okay, now we're going to, I've used this when you have a real, I've introduced this a couple of weeks ago, maybe at the middle of the summer. And sometimes when you have a catch, you've got to have some pressure put in where that's tightening up muscle is. Well, this kind of a device really helps in that. It's called a back knobber tube. And you can go online, and they're still are in business. I bought those years ago. I had them in class for a while, etc. Okay, what am I doing? I'm turning my chair around. I'm getting this little pad ready to go. Now, I wouldn't have had to do that if I were in a kitchen and I had my hand on a counter. Then I would just put my hand on the counter, okay? But I have this, or I could have my pole, whichever one. So what we're gonna do now is drop our toes right off that edge. This is 2 inches height. If you did this on a step, that would even be like better. I'm going to show you. So here is a higher platform. I think you can see this. Okay. I'll just get my little my little bar here. I can't go up here too far because I got a fan up here. Okay, but if I was on a stair, if you have stairs, you have a ready-made little device to help your feet. You see how I'm pointing down? Yeah, and then all I have to do is put my heel down. So I get to go front, and I'm pointing my toes down, and then I drop my heel, and I stretch the back of the leg gently. And I keep moving that. Now, if you don't have the stairs right where we're doing it, then we're going to do it on our little balance pad, which is down, and then put the toe and drop the heel. Very effective on the back part. So heel, drop the toe, go ahead and press forward on it. Then put your foot back there, ball the foot, drop the heel. Okay. Now I want you to turn your foot and drop the heel. Yeah, feels kind of weird. Then turn it inside and drop the heel. So you're putting your body weight pressure on different positions of that foot. So that means your ankle, that means your foot in general. So pressing forward, I don't get enough drop to really feel the stretch. But if you were on a stair, you would feel it with no problem, as I showed you right here. Okay, so just step. The heel is on the edge. You press down. Then you put your foot to the back edge. You drop that heel down with this knee bent. And that's pretty effective. You feel that. So go ahead and just go down with your toe here, like you're going to press forward with your hips. Then you move back, put that toe right on the edge, the ball of the foot, and then straighten the leg. See, people keep their knee bent in the back here. You want the front knee bent, not the back knee, okay? The back knee is pretty straight. Then do an eversion where you're going out and you just kind of press down. So there's a lot of reasons to kind of get this feeling. You see I have my hand here, I have my hand here. And then I'm going to go invert. So in with the toes, drop the heel down as far as you feel you can. Keep your tummy just braced, shoulders down, keep breathing. So working with your ankle and your foot off of this little 2-inch device is a big help for your feet. So now I'm going to work us through our foot rolling. So now I do want to roll because I'm not putting pressure in a weird way, like in a pivot. See, I want to roll all the way out, and I want my body weight pressing down mostly on this leg, a little on this one. This is exactly what happens when you turned your ankle before. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to put a little pressure, but I really want to roll that foot. Really, really want to roll that foot. Then I'm going to go just like a turned ankle, just like that. Put a little bit of body weight pressure on it. See, I've got my hand here, I got my hand here. So it's very controlled, very controlled. Okay, now I'm going to roll the other one. So I'm going to roll out. So this one I will tell you. And one of the reasons why I'm hanging in there and doing some of these very nuanced moves. When I go to roll this one, to do that roll, to go out like this, I can't put weight in it. This is my knee replacement, okay? So I put my hand here, I put my pole here, take a big deep breath, I have to bend my knee to get to rolling onto the outside. And I know that this has to do with my knee replacement, okay? So it'll be interesting as we're talking at the end of class, and see people that are in here that stay by and stay to the end of class. We talk about some of these things. Now see what I'm doing? I'm putting gentle pressure into this inverted roll. See, I'm rolling out here, and I have to bend my knee or I can't even roll onto that side of the foot. And then I step forward and then I roll here, but I gotta bend my knee. I didn't really have to bend my knee on the other leg. But boy, this is getting into some structures in my foot that just are not gotten on a regular basis as far as movement goes. See how I'm rolling out? I'm putting gentle pressure from my body weight. I'm helping right here. And I'm doing this several times, okay? So once you've done that, I'm telling you, once you've felt that stretching with that very gentle outward roll and then inward roll, keeping your knee bent, and you can stand on it or you can put it in front of you and do it like I'm doing right here. That is money as far as making your feet feel so much better. So that's kind of, I've done feet work before, but I wanted to really hit the feet today in a standing position, because that's where we find ourselves a lot of times. And if you'll just hang on to whatever you're at, a counter or, you know, a bench, whatever, and just do some of these feet rolling in and out, inversion, eversions, in, out, and then do some movements with that. Wow, does that help make you feel so much better? Why? Because it hits and loosens up structures that are too tight in your foot, in your knee, in your hip, in your back. Okay, that said, I still have my pole. I'm gonna step back. Now I'm gonna get into that lower back for real. Not that the other, it wasn't for real. The other was just to prepare us, basically. Okay, that's what I mean by saying for real. So you're on the golf course or you're out in the garden, you're doing yard work, you're feeling that funny little tightening started, right? You're starting to feel it, okay? We did these. And I told you at the beginning, I didn't pivot, correct? I didn't. I did a very careful pull through with that pull behind my back. Then I pivoted. So I started all of it. Now I'm going to address my chair. And I'm going to come right into the chair. And I'm going to step wide. And I'm going to push my butt back as I grab that chair and pull forward. So I'm doing a push-pull. I'm pushing back and I'm pulling. Don't pull and lift the chair. Really push into the heels and really push back. Keep your chin tucked. Take a big deep breath. Then when you come back into here, you're going to step back and you're going to drop your hips. And you're going to drop your shoulders. And you're going to really stretch through that lower back. So lift the hips, step in. We're going to do this about 3 or 4 times. So stay with me until you really are feeling it, where I'm wanting you to feel it, or where you're wanting to feel it, which is in your lower back. So I'm right here. My knees are soft. My hands are here. Then I'm going to drop my elbows to the chair. I'm going to push my butt back and really pull against that chair. Breath, big breath. Don't let your knees cave. Don't let your knees cave. Take a big deep breath. Now I'm going to come forward. That one starts this whole sequence. You come here, you drop your shoulders, you soften your elbows, you step back. Then you drop your heels and you bring your hips forward. Don't be tightening your butt right here. This is not where you want to tighten it. Drop your shoulders and you're really stretching through that back. You're stretching through all those hip flexors. Hang out here for just a few seconds. Now, pull back up. One leg comes forward. One leg stays back. So I took you through a real classic foundational lower back stretch. But you know what I did? I got you prepared by doing all that, the motions, the movement that we did with our feet and walking and tandem walking and all of that pattern walking. And then we got into that lower back. Okay. So now I'm really pushing down on trying to get the heel down. And if you keep your leg pretty straight, it should be a pretty good stretch. So after you've done that for a little bit, then you bend your knee in just a little bit and you'll feel the stretch change. Then you take your front leg straight and then you bring that toe up, okay? So we're getting deep, deep down into the hip flexors and extensors and the foot. Plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. So bring that toe up and really let that stretch. Now press the toe down. You're pushing your heel down and back. Plantar flex, pull back up. Take a big deep breath. Now let's start adding some chin and neck stuff. Drop your shoulders, stay right in there. Turn your chin so that it's to one shoulder. Then you turn the chin so that it's to the other shoulder. Don't tilt your head. You are turning, not tilting. Okay, there's a big difference. Now, step back and step back in with the other leg. Okie dokie. Now, if this is bothering your arms, your hands at all, you could consider putting your hands on the little pad. So it's not bothering my hands, but if it did, I would put the pad up there, okay? Take a big deep breath, drop your heel. That's number one. Bring the other knee toward the chair. Drop your shoulders again. Take a big deep breath. Should be stretching that lower calf. Now I will tell you that this calf, the leg that I have in the back right now, that's my hip replace side. I don't have near the tightness in my calf on this side than I do on my other side, okay? So it's the way it is. Okay, now bring that front leg straight. So you're pressing back on that heel and you're pulling that toe again forward, okay? Forward, 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 forward. Wiggle your toes a little bit and bring your head and neck in. So I'm going to bend the knee, touch the front of the chair, keep my heel down and back, take a breath, keep my chin tucked, my shoulders down, turn your chin so that's going to go over the shoulder. And then come straight forward, keep your chin tucked, big breath, and rotate back. Here we go. Pull that toe back just as much as you possibly can. So you should be feeling quite the stretch there. Wiggle your toe. You can go in. You can go out with the movement. Press. Take a big deep breath. And step forward. And your hands come to the back. Drop your elbows to the chair. Just drop your shoulders. You're hanging onto the chair. This is a great position to take a break in and then come back. Big deep breath. Big deep breath. Now we're gonna do a swing that is a swing that's designed to work on your hip, your leg, and your back. But we're gonna swing it not flinging, but this is how you do a leg swing, okay? So, I have my chair here, number one. I'm gonna start with a forward and back swing, because how did we start this class? We came forward and we came back, right? We did that a number of times, right? Now we're gonna swing our leg a little differently. This is my hip replace side, this is my knee replace side. You don't have to do a kick. We don't have to do a, what do you call, a marching band, a ballerina swing. We don't have to do that. What we do have to do is pull our toe up. That's number one, okay? Now I have a leg length discrepancy, so I have to be careful, okay? When I get momentum going, you don't want to catch your toe on anything. So hand is here. When I'm up, this leg is very straight. It's not locked, but it's very straight, okay? So I'm tight, but here's the thing you gotta know. See this? This is a great move to do that follows this move that we did here. Remember this? Okay, this is how we start this. Okay, pull the toe up, straight leg here, push down here, not hard, just for balance. Big breath. And when I swing my leg, this is my hip replace side. I want the toe up. I want to make sure that I'm not going to hit anything behind me or in front of me. Okay? So always make sure you're not going to hit anything. Now, you're not going to be able to stand in here that long. You're going to feel a lot of pressure through here and here, which is one other reason why this is such a good move to do. Everybody focuses on this, and really it's this that's taken a hit, okay? This is just giving you a range. Now, my other leg is this hip is the one that's talking to me these days. Although through days where I don't feel anything, and then there's some time that I'm just like, what did I do? Kind of what you guys say after this class. What did we do? Ah, Kathy's rolling her eyes. I can feel it. Okay, take a breath. Here's what I want you to notice. When I go back in this swing, okay, I'll stop it. I try to, on purpose, keep the toe pointing in. It's not really pointing in, but it's to keep it from going out like that, okay? I want to go forward and back. My toe is up, and I'm swinging as far as I can, okay? Just comfortable. You just want to get a nice swing through. Yeah, you want to try to hit maybe 15 to 20, yeah, maybe 30. I'm getting pretty tired because I just was standing on this leg. This is a really good thing to do for that 1 minute challenge or 2 minute challenge that I've thrown out there to you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to stay right here with my hand here. If you had something over here, that would be great. But if you don't, drop your shoulders, big breath. Okay, are you ready? This leg is straight. It's not locked, but it's straight, okay? This toe is up, and just do a little. See, just a little. Breath, and just keep the toe up. Don't bend the leg, keep the toe up in dorsiflexion, because this has to do with what's going on here and here, okay? So this side is taking a hit. Keep your leg pretty straight. Keep that toe up. Take a breath. You want to go up as far as you feel you can without displacing through the back. See, I'm staying upright. Yeah. Keep that toe from heading out. Don't bend at the knee. Take a big deep breath. and bring it back in. Yeah, on this side, my hip doesn't get nearly as tired, okay? Because you still, if you have a replaced hip, you have a lot of things that got changed around in there, and you don't feel the sensation of the hip contraction like you normally would. Now, last one. This is the one people a lot to leave out. Drop your shoulders. Hands are on your chair. Tight tummy. Bring your foot right out here and just draw a line. See that? So when I swing gently, it's just like you're going to kick a soccer ball with your ankle. Okay? So drop your shoulders and bring that leg out and back. 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 Take a breath. Yeah, so here's the thing. By doing these two major leg swing motions, you have given both hips a really good training, because one is loaded and has to support the move, and the other one is mobility, doing the move, okay? So make sure you're not going to catch your toe anywhere. Say rib cage up. And see, on this one, this is my hip replace side. I'm not going to go crazy on this. I'm keeping it nice and low, normal ranges. I'm not trying to force it anywhere, okay? It's just forward and back. Keep your rib cage up. Take a big deep breath. Big deep breath. Don't let that toe turn out. And so these kinds of motions, very important. Now I'm going to grab my little bar, see? And I'm going to do a little test. Here it is. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to just with the back of my hand, put it right on the small of the back, drop my shoulders. I need to be touching the pole with the back part of my head, not the top of my head. Tuck your chin, the back part of the head, between the shoulders, and right at the coccyx. That's the 3 points that it needs to touch. And then I'm going to just move a little bit. And I'm going to switch arms. And I'm just going to move a little bit. I'm going to keep my chin tucked. If you're not touching your head, do not do this. Keep your chin tucked and just know that that's where you're at, and that you're going to keep working to improve your postural lineup, okay? So everything I did today was hinged around neutral spine, okay? Now when you're in the golf course, or you're out in the field, or you're out in your garden or your yard, and you put that rake or that golf club behind yourself, now I hope you'll think about it a little differently, because the stuff I've seen people doing just really doesn't address some of the tightness. Start again with your feet down and do that rotation, then pull that knee into rotation and really look behind you. Follow it up with a push-pull wherever, on the edge of your cart, on a bench, on a tree, and just grab it and push back on your back, tuck your chin, and just really grab that tree or that bench and pull back on it. Then you can call and thank me. I hope it helped. Really, I do.